Allah is my heart's speech. Your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me to advance. Help me in my quest. Permit me to pass the ultimate test. Help me in my quest. Permit me to pass the ultimate.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على المبعوث رحمة للعالمين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه ومن اهتدى بهديه واستنى بسنته إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد. Dear brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to this new program of Ask Huda, coming to you live from Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. And until we receive the first caller, as usual, there are a number of emails. Aisha says, in my country, a mobile phone provider offers to their clients such a service. When you have no money on your phone, you can borrow the money from the provider, and the next time you refill a phone balance, they will automatically charge this money from you. But they will also add some extra money for this service. For example, if you borrow $5, they will charge you $6 for providing this service. Is this riba, or is it just paying for the service they provide? Now, first of all, riba is a major sin, and it is in essence borrowing money and paying it back with interest. And there are two types of riba. Riba al-fadl, which deals in the same thing, but something more than the other, and riba al-nasi'a, which deals with time, so it's time bound. And there is also riba al-qard, which is dealing with the interest one gets on borrowing something. And it's different than selling and buying, because when you sell a commodity, you actually benefit, and those who make it benefit, and the one who buys it benefits as well. While in riba, it is money versus money. And this is haram. And there are 6 types of things that the Prophet told us they are riba alayhi salatu salam. And they are divided into 2 categories. Things to do with gold and silver and whatever falls under them, such as banknotes, dollars, euros, reals, and things that deal with eatable items that can be weighed or can be measured by size. And these are wheat, barley, dates, and salt. So these are the 6 types that the Prophet ﷺ said. Now, I'm not going to get into details of riba. You can, inshallah, get more information on islamqa.info, and you can get more information from our series on Umdat al-Ahkam, inshallah. But the questioner put his question in a way, or her question, Aisha put a question in a way that might mislead someone to saying, they are lending you $5 and then they're charging $6. This is riba. This is correct if this is what's happening. If they're lending you $5 and getting $6 in return, this is totally prohibited. However, what the company is doing is totally not related to lending. They are selling you a service, so your contract with them tells or says or states that they charge for every minute 10 cents. This is the norm. But when you are out of balance and you don't have money and you need to make phone calls and you need to buy the service from them, so they're selling it to you, instead of 10 cents, they're selling it to you for 15 cents. And they're not taking the money now, they're taking it later on when you refill or recharge your balance. So this is totally permissible, insha'Allahu azza wa jal. Hamza from Saudi.
Hello, assalamu alaikum.
Salamullah. Hamza, listen to me from the phone and mute your TV, please.
Yes, assalamu alaikum, brother.
Wa alaikum salam.
How are you?
I'm fine, alhamdulillah.
It's good to have you back after so long.
Jazakumullah khair.
Brother, I have one question. In a classroom, when the teacher enters, is it okay for the students to get up in giving him respect, or is it against?
Okay, I will answer your question, inshallah.
Jazakallah.
Wa jazakum. Aruj from the Emirates.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Salamtullah.
I want to first of all congratulate you and all the Muslims on the holy day of 12th Rabiul Awwal.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
I want to, my question is, what is the significance of seeing holy and sacred places in your dreams, like the holy Kaaba and the Masjid-e-Nabawi, or, any of the tombs of the Prophet's family members?
Okay, I will answer your question, inshallah.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're quite welcome. Hamza is asking on the ruling that some schools still have. That is, when a teacher comes to the class, all the students, all the pupils must rise and stand up out of respect, out of tradition, out of anything. What's the ruling on that? The Prophet ﷺ told us about the individual who enters. And he said, ﷺ, whoever loves or desires people to stand up for him when he comes in, he should take his seat in hellfire. Which means that this is a major sin, and it is the result of arrogance. So whether you're a teacher, you're a principal, you are a king, you are a prince, you are a leader, if you want people to stand up when you enter, this is a major sin, and it is a sign of arrogance. Now for the students, it's problematic because they are stuck between a rock and a hard place. If they do not stand, and the teacher or the management of the school are ignorant and do not understand themselves, they would probably reprimand him or punish him. So in this case, if he tried to explain that it is not something personal, it is the law of Allah Azza wa Jal, yet they do not seem to care or pay attention, in this case, I feel out of compulsion, it is permissible for the students to stand up after explaining. Aruj, may Allah reward her, said that she wants to congratulate us for the holy day of 12th of Rabi' al-Awwal. And first of all, Jazakumullah khair for this kind of greeting. But, as it's our methodology in this program, and inshallah in all Huda's channel programs, that we refer back to the Quran and Sunnah. So whatever is in the Quran and the Sunnah and the doing of the companions, may Allah be pleased with them, we do it without any questions asked. But if something is not, then we have question marks whether it is an innovation or not. So today is 12th of Rabi' al-Awwal. The majority of the Muslims believe that the Prophet ﷺ was born on this day. So they commemorate this day. Some of them celebrate this day. Some of them consider it, as Aruj said, a holy day, needs to congratulate people about it. However, the scholars differed. The scholars of Islam, they differed whether he was born on the 9th of Rabi' al-Awwal, on the 10th, or on the 12th. And the most authentic opinion that he was born on the 9th. But let me consider him was born on the 12th. May Allah, peace and praise be upon him. However, the consensus of all scholars of Islam, all Muslims agree and say that the Prophet ﷺ died on this day, on the 12th of Rabi' al-Awwal. They differed whether he was born on that day or not, but they don't have any difference at all. It is proven fact in all books of hadith that he died on the 12th of Rabi' al-Awwal. Okay, so those who commemorate this day, we claim they appeared on the 4th century of Hijrah. The 1st century, nobody ever commemorated it. The 2nd, the 3rd, nobody celebrated it. It was Al-Fatimiyun, Al-Ubaydiyun, those who are originally Jews, claiming to be Muslims, and they were Batiniyah, they were Zanadiqa, pretending to be Muslims. And they were the staunch enemies of Islam, who began this celebration because it was a day of celebration to the enemies of Islam when the Prophet died, alayhi salatu wasalam. First of all. Second of all, The Prophet never celebrated it, the 12th of Rabi' al-Awwal. He did not even pay any attention to it. Neither did Abu Bakr, nor Umar, nor Uthman, nor Ali. Neither did the companions of the Prophet ﷺ. Neither did those who followed them, the tabi'een, may Allah have mercy on them. So, is it possible that we know or we love the Prophet ﷺ more than they did? The Prophet ﷺ told us about Monday, that it was a day he was born in, that's why he's fasting it. And because it was revealed first to him on Monday. So he's commemorating Monday by fasting it. Never ever he did this every single year on the 12th of Rabi' or on the 9th of Rabi' or on any day. Therefore, such days we have to avoid. Our love to the Prophet ﷺ is not like the Christians. We portray our love to him on Christmas Eve. And we know what they do on Christmas Eve. Our love to the Prophet ﷺ is portrayed 24/7 throughout the whole year by implementing his sunnah, by spreading his knowledge, by teaching the hadith and the way that he lived and communicated and treated all the different levels of the society and the community. Going back to your question, Roj, seeing holy places in dreams might have significance, but if someone is asked about something he does not know, he has no other option but to say, I don't know. I could tell you a lot of explanations, but it is my duty as a Muslim, when I'm asked about something I have no knowledge of, and I say, I have no knowledge. Dream interpretation is not a science that is given or that is studied. It is a gift that is based on a number of things that Allah gives a person. I'm not one of those, so I'm afraid that I'm unable to tell you what it means. Fattum says, Sheikh, I'm suffering from bad thoughts. What can I do? Sometimes it's so difficult for me and I end up crying. Fattum, who do you think these thoughts come from? Is it from the angels who are supposed to be protecting you? Is it from the angel that Allah has appointed so that he would order you to do good things and righteous things? Or is it from shaitan? Definitely, without any questions, you will say that this is the whisperings of shaitan. And I could not agree with you more. It is definitely shaitan. So why do you open the door for him to play with you like this? Why do you allow him to make you cry, to depress you? All of these are from shaitan, and you should avoid anything that opens the door for such whispers. So what do? I get these bad thoughts. Think positive thoughts. If you keep on thinking of dying and losing a loved one, tell them, well, it's been written 50,000 years before Allah created the creation. So inevitably it's going to happen. So as long as I know that whatever Allah decreed will happen, then I'll have full and complete trust in Allah Azza wa Jal. Worrying would not help. If these bad thoughts about your rizq and your provision, Allah Azza wa Jal gives rizq to animals, insects, fish, birds, all of His creation, without them having any degrees or without them having any experience. It is Allah the provider. So have your full trust in Allah. If these doubts are in the Quran, in the Sunnah, in Allah the Almighty, in religion, go back to the Quran and Sunnah. Recite Qul Huwa Allahu Ahad, Allahu Samad. Recite the Quran with conviction. Read the seerah of the Prophet ﷺ, and you will get all your worries far away from you, inshallah. Abu Hamza from Saudi. Abu Hamza, listen to me from the phone and mute your TV, please.
Yeah, Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Assalamualaikum wa barakatuh.
Sheikh, I have a small question. Actually, one of my close relatives, their business is, building banks. And I'm 100% sure those banks in India, they are dealing with interest for sure. So, is it permissible to participate? Because he is a contractor, a civil contractor, and he is building the banks. Is it good, or we should advise him to leave this business and switch to some other business? Thanks a lot.
Okay, I will answer your question, inshallah.
Thank you.
Abu Hamza's question is straightforward. Civil contractor, they give him a contract, he builds buildings, whether it's a mosque, whether it's a synagogue, whether it's a temple, whether it's a bank, whether it's a brothel, whether it's a bar, he just builds it. So is it permissible? Any Muslim on the street, any layman would tell you definitely not. If he is contracted to build a mosque, mashallah, this is halal. If he's contracted to build a residential building, this is halal. A mall, shops that sell halal things, this is halal. But when he builds something that is utilized and he knows that it will be utilized for haram, this income of his is haram. So definitely you have to go and advise him and remind him of Allah Azza wa Jal. Today is dunya, tomorrow is akhirah. Today is enjoying life, tomorrow is paying for what you have enjoyed severely. May Allah make it easy upon all of us. So definitely you have to give him an advice. Noor says, my mom spends time reading the Quran on water and asks my sisters and I to drink it. She does this ruqya for protection. And I don't believe in this, and she now is angry and stopped speaking to me and decided that I am not a Muslim. What to do? What's your advice? First of all, what you're doing, Noor, is correct. That is, ruqya is for healing an existing illness, not for protection. So what your mother is doing, that is reciting the Quran and blowing over water, this has been reported by some of the Salaf of doing it. There's nothing wrong in that as means of healing, as means of curing an illness, an evil eye, envy, black magic, possession of jinn. All of this, inshallah, works with it. However, to do it out of protection, meaning having it every now and then, this is not right. It's like taking Panadol or taking antibiotics when you're not sick. This would make you sick. So definitely this is not right. But if it reaches the level where your mother is so upset to the extent that she may not talk to you or thinks that you are not a Muslim, no, in this case, drink it. It's not, inshallah, going to harm you because you're not believing that it has any effect on you because you don't have anything wrong with you. And try your level best, always, Noor, and all our viewers. Try to be as diplomatic as possible with your parents. They're old, they're grumpy, they're depressed, they have their own problems, and it's about time that we give them the rest they need and the comfort they are entitled for. So don't be confrontational, heads on. No, try to tolerate them and be as respectful as possible. We have Safa from Saudi.
Hello, salam alaikum.
Salamtullah.
Sheikh, I have a small doubt. Sheikh, we happen to borrow a sum of money from a relative of ours. Me and my husband, both of us are employed, and we promised to give it within a stipulated period of time. Or rather, we did not promise him any time of returning it. But it so happened that my husband lost his job, and now we are in a tight situation and unable to return the money. This relative of ours, he's fine with the delay, but he does seem to be upset sometimes when we see him that we don't return the money. The last option I have is to take a loan from a bank with interest to return this sum of money. Am I permitted to do this or not?
Okay, I will answer you, Safa.
Okay, Sheikh, thank you.
Javid from Saudi.
Yes, salam alaikum.
Salamtullah.
I'm Javed from
Yes.
Saudi Arabia.
Yes, what's your question, Akhi?
Yeah, my question is that I want to ask you that this for the Islamic banking,
Okay.
if we keep our money like a saving account, so they give you after a month they give you some amount, like you say this is the profit. But we have some confusion that the bank is saying that this is the Islamic bank, so they are doing the business. So this is not, according to Islam, not a riba. this riba-free banking.
Okay.
So I want to ask you this one. They say I have some confusion for this one. That is it this riba or what we can say for this one?
Got your question.
Halal or what?
Got your question. Any more questions?
No, thank you very much.
You're quite welcome, Akhi. Safa from Saudi Arabia says that they borrowed money from a relative. Her husband lost the job and now they cannot pay back. And they can see in the face of the relative that he is annoyed, he's upset. He has all the right to be so because he wants his money back. So she's saying, can I borrow money with interest? And the answer is definitely no. It is totally prohibited for you to pay interest to a bank because this is riba and it is one of the major sins in Islam. What to do? Be tolerant. Give this relative of yours good words saying, Jazakallah khair for waiting. You know our condition. We will try to pay off your money, let's say like over a period of 20 months. We will pay it to you in installments. And you have to try to reschedule it, but you have to return it as it is. And he is obliged in Islam to wait because this is what Allah Azza wa Jal ordered him in Surah Al-Baqarah at the very end. If he is a person in need, he has to appoint time and wait until you find money to pay him off. Muhammad from Saudi Arabia. Muhammad?
Yes, hello.
Yes, Muhammad.
Assalamu alaikum.
Salamtullah.
Can I ask the question now?
Yes, Ya akhi.
Okay, I have the question. If a person dies away from his birthplace, example 100 kilometers away, and is being buried in that place, then he or she will get bigger place in Jannah. Is it true? Please explain. We heard it from someone.
I will answer your question, inshallah.
Thank you.
Javid from Saudi Arabia says that the issue of Islamic banking, and he has a bank account, it's a saving bank account in an Islamic bank, and every month they deposit some interest. And he says that this is like riba. And the answer is no, this is not like riba. If the bank is Islamic, it has a Sharia board, and it has a committee that overlooks and audits all the work of the bank to check and spot check whether it's Islamic or not, then whatever they give you in your saving account is inshallah halal, because they take the money that people have deposited and they build buildings and they buy commodities and they sell and they have transactions, and whatever profit they have, they share it with those who have saving account. And this is halal inshallah, providing that they are an Islamic bank. Muhammad from Saudi Arabia, he says that it's common that whoever is buried away from his hometown, that he would get a bigger place in Jannah than a person who is buried in his hometown. Does this have any authenticity? And the answer is no. This is totally baseless. It is a part of the sunnah that a person is buried wherever he dies. So if a person from Saudi Arabia dies in India, the sunnah is for him to be buried in India. If he dies in the Philippines, if he dies in the US, he's to be buried there. What people are doing nowadays, transporting the body of the deceased after his death to his country, and what surrounds this journey, hardship and the decay of the body and so many trouble resulting out of that, this is totally unlike the sunnah. And it shouldn't be like this. Wherever you die, let them bury you. There's no point transporting someone to his birthplace. Not only that, some people even make in their will that if I die in Jeddah, you have to bury me in Mecca or bury me in Medina. And all of this is not part of the sunnah, and Allah Azza wa Jal knows best. Abdullah says, if an unmarried man cannot take care of his family and pay his debt due to poverty, and he knows a wealthy religious woman who is looking for a husband and is willing to help her husband financially, is it obligatory upon him to propose to her or accept her proposal if she asks, or at least look for other wealthy wives like this Akhi, it seems that you're making a business out of this. Yani, if there's a wealthy religious woman who is willing to take care of you, you've got it made. The Prophet said, ﷺ, that a woman is being sought after for her beauty, for her wealth, for her lineage, and for her religious practice. So if she has two of four, wow, you've got it made. If she is a practicing Muslim and wealthy and she's willing to help you with the expenses, this is mighty fine. But to look for other wealthy women, now this is a little bit awkward. You are not seeking marriage, you're seeking their wealth, and this is not very dignifying for a man. You should not expect a woman to support you and give you dowry maybe, or maybe open a house for you and pay off your debts and take your children to school, private schools. What kind of a man is this? No, this is not right. But if you find a righteous woman who is willing to help, then jazakallah khair. Ibrahim from Saudi Arabia.
Yes, sir.
Yes, akhi.
Yes. Sir, this is my question, sir. Okay, sir?
Yes.
This is my question, sir. But my question is...
Akhi, mute your TV and listen to me from the phone.
Yes, sir. Okay.
What's your question?
Assalamu alaikum.
Samtullah.
This my question, sir, is...
Ya akhi, mute your TV. Ya Ibrahim, I beg you, please, mute your TV.
Yes, sir. My question, sir, is I am... Yes, sir. Okay, I see your this, sir.
Yes, akhi, what's your question? Okay, Ibrahim got mad of us and he left. Okay, Rahil says, how to love non-Muslim parents who keeps on justifying wrong, do wrong, condone wrong, how to live with a family like this. Very simple, tolerate them. Akhi, you are not in paradise. You are in this life, you are in dunya. So you get sick, someone bashes your car, you get fired, you have a lousy manager, you have terrible subordinates, you have neighbors who are so awful, you have a nagging wife, you have disobedient children. This is life. You are examined, you are tested by Allah Azza wa Jal. So you have to either pass the exam or fail. Now, when you have such non-Muslims, parents, what does Allah tell you to do? You have to respect them. You have to obey them. You have to tolerate them, but do not obey them when it comes to issues of shirk or kufr. So be kind to them. Be diplomatic to them. Know that this is like praying night prayer. It's like fasting Ramadan, etc. So this is a form of good deed that you have to pay attention to. Control room says that we have a break. Stay tuned, and inshallah, we'll be right back.
The Prophet Muhammad taught me how to be kind.
The Prophet ﷺ taught me the importance of seeking knowledge.
The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, taught me how to respect and be kind to my parents.
The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, taught me how to make da'wah for Muslims and non-Muslims.
The Prophet ﷺ taught me how to be kind to my parents.
Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, taught me how to have mercy for mankind.
Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, taught me that I do to others what I wish done to myself.
The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, taught me how to respect women.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome back. Mujahid says, can a Muslim boy look at a girl with good intention because I have to tell it to friends? Please give references from the Quran. Allah Azza wa Jal ordered Muslim men to lower their gaze in Surah An-Nur. And He also ordered Muslim women to lower their gaze. Hence, it is not permissible for a man to look at a girl or at a woman except for a legitimate reason. Now, having a good intention or a bad intention, this is, I don't know. What justifies a good intention? Oh, Sheikh, she's my schoolmate and she's sitting next to me, so I look and talk to her like friends. There's nothing like this. She's my cousin. There's no good intention in that, because shaitan awaits the proper moment and haram will happen eventually. Maybe not this year, maybe not in 5 years, but it will happen. And even if it doesn't happen, Allah tells us that this is prohibited. So the Prophet ﷺ, when one of the companions said to him, I proposed and I'm engaged to this woman, the Prophet told him, did you look at her? And the man said, no. The Prophet said, go and look at her. Which means that the people in Medina were all covered up. Even if she's walking in the street, they would not look at them because they're covered. They cannot see them. So for the purpose of marriage, if you want to marry a woman, it is permissible for you to go. It is recommended for you to go and take a look at her, speak with her in the presence of her guardian, in the presence of her father, for example. This is halal. Now, to casually look and have good intention, as people say, there's nothing as such. We don't know of anything as such, except for someone who has a problem with his hormones. So yes, if you say, no, Sheikh, I feel okay, I have no problem. They're my colleagues, I've been working with her for 10 years at the same office, sitting 8 hours a day, and we have no feelings against one another. What is this? What are you talking about? If you don't have any feelings, there's a problem with your hormones, because this is human nature that Allah Azza wa Jal has created in all of us. So the answer, Akhi, to answer your question, definitely this is not permissible, and you may not have such a good look or even such a friendly look with good intention unless it's a legitimate reason. If you're a doctor, you have to look at your patient, but only at the place where you want to treat. If you are selling someone and you want to know that person, she may unveil her face, or if it's already unveiled, you may look at her so that when she comes in a week time and she says that there's a problem with the goods, you can identify her, etc. Other than that, the answer is no. Farhat from Saudi Arabia.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Assalamu wa barakatuh.
Sheikh, I wanted to ask one question. We do parda with from all the non-Muslims, but it is not possible for us to do it with our brother-in-law, as is a joint family, my husband's younger brother. So in this case, what do you recommend?
I didn't get your question from the very beginning. What was the question?
Hijab, parda, hijab.
Okay.
We do it from all the non-Muslims.
Okay, except your brother-in-law.
Yeah.
Okay, I will answer your question.
Because ours is a joint family, so it is not possible for me to take the hijab the whole day.
Okay,
in the house.
I will answer your question, inshallah.
Jazakallah khair.
Wajazaki. Farhat's question is a very common and usual question. Unfortunately, a lot of the people in the subcontinent live in joint families. And this is good in a sense for the parents, but it is bad for the daughter-in-law, especially if there are other siblings of the husband living alone. So, first of all, it is the God-given right to the woman to have her separate quarters. Islam demands that a wife has her own quarter, even if it's a bedroom and a bathroom and a small kitchenette isolated from the whole house. So nobody enters there without her permission, and she can do whatever she wants there without being exposed to the rest of the family. Second of all, if she, out of her own goodwill, agrees to live with the parents, may Allah reward her for that, it is not permissible at all to mix with the brother-in-law, or to take off her hijab, or to be immodest in front of him, because he's a total stranger. Not only that, he is worse than a total stranger. You see, if I come to the house, she will be protective of me more than she is from her brother-in-law. Your husband would be protective of me and more jealous of me than of his brother-in-law. This is why in the Sahih, the Prophet ﷺ gave a strong warning when he addressed the men and said, do not enter upon women. إِيَّاكُمْ وَالدُّخُولَ عَلَى النِّسَاءِ. Do not enter upon women, meaning those who are not mahram. Do not enter upon your mother, your sister, your wife, your daughter, your aunt. No. So any woman who is a non-mahram, do not enter upon them. So one of the companions, may Allah be pleased with them all, said, O Prophet of Allah, what about al-hamu? Al-hamu refers to the uncle of the husband, the brother of the husband, the relative of the husband, whom the husband usually trusts a lot. So the man is saying, okay, Prophet of Allah, he's my brother. I trust my brother. I know my brother. The Prophet said, Al-hamu al-maut. 2 words, which translates to your relative is equivalent to death. If you want death to come and visit your wife, visit your mahrams, then let the non-mahram mix with them. This is a very strong warning from the Prophet ﷺ. So it's not my ruling. I didn't make it up. This is the ruling of Islam. This is the teaching of the Prophet ﷺ. So definitely you have no excuse. Shaykh, what to do? My husband forces me. My parents-in-law are taunting me. And this happens when the mother and father-in-law are ignorant, are people from the dark ages. They have no knowledge in the Quran, nor in the Sunnah. All what they want is what's in their head to be implemented in the house. So the mother-in-law, because she was taunted by her mother-in-law when she first got married, because she worked as a servant to her sisters-in-law and she wept the house and cleaned and did the dishes and cooked. Now she wants to experience the same power and control over her daughter-in-law. Don't you fear Allah Azza wa Jal? Don't you have daughters of your own? Would you like your daughters to work like this? So definitely, this is a long topic, and you have to be diplomatic, you have to be wise, you have to weigh the consequences, you have to sit with your husband and tell him that these are your rights, and you fear that Allah would punish him severely for not giving you your rights. Now, Khadija says that when it comes to religious duties, I mostly only do the fard things, such as my daily 5 prayers and fasting Ramadan. Otherwise, I spend my time between my prayer just playing with the kids, teaching them. Then my evenings are spent dressing up for my husband, making him tea, etc. Things to make him happy. Am I enjoying life too much? I don't want to go to hell. May Allah Azza wa Jal reward you, Khadija. May Allah make all the Muslim wives as wise and as giving as you. What you are doing with your children, what you are giving and doing with your husband is a great form of worship. The basics that you are doing is more than enough. Now, if you can add to that reciting the Quran, night prayer, fasting, voluntary days, excellent. But if not, if you do what you're doing for the sake of pleasing Allah Azza wa Jal, you are doing jihad. Striving to please your husband in halal means and giving him his comfort zone. Striving to upbring your children in an Islamic way, feeding them, clothing them, taking care of their studies, and putting some Islamic etiquettes in their life. This is jihad. So to say that, am I enjoying life too much? This is the halal enjoyment that Allah Azza wa Jal reward you for. Keep up the good work and try to balance. Don't just be content of doing the 5 fards because you don't know whether you have missed something or did not concentrate enough. Try to add some voluntary prayers every now and then, and inshallah you are in good hands. We have Asra from Saudi.
Assalamu alaikum.
Salamullah.
Sheikh, I wanted to ask about my dreams. My aunt keeps coming in my dreams often.
Okay.
She's no more. She used to live in Mecca. Right now I'm in her house. So she used to live in Mecca, and she's my mother's brother's wife.
Okay.
So she was very close to me, very pious lady. May Allah grant her Jannah. So she keeps coming in my dreams, and she says, "I want you to take something from me." She keeps telling that. I see her in a green long robe kind of a thing, and then
Okay, I will answer you, inshallah.
Again and again, like some help. I don't know what she wants to convey. I don't remember the whole of the dream, but
I will
do
answer.
remember her face and like a musalla, something.
I will answer you, inshallah, Asra.
Yeah.
Okay.
Barakallahu feek.
Wa feekum. Uthman from Libya. I think we've lost Uthman. Apologies. Asra says that she sees her aunt, the wife of her uncle, in a dream, and she keeps on asking things of her, and she was very nice and kind to her. Most likely, the scholars say that when you see deceased in your dreams, this means that they require sadaqah, charity. So give charity for her if you can. If you have extra money and you want to be kind to her as she was kind to you, build her a small house or a musalla, that is a small masjid, or a musalla, dig her a well on her behalf, or give charity, sponsor an orphan, pay for a circle of tahfidh al-Quran, etc. There's so many things that you can do, and inshallah this would reach her with the grace of Allah Azza wa Jal. Kamruz says, if I put an underwear that has madhi, that is dry, from last week, do I have to wash my body in order to pray? Now, we know that purity is divided into two types, and you cannot pray without accomplishing purity. So we have purity, part one, which is raf'ul hadath, uplifting the impurity which is spiritual. So if someone urinates or answers the call of nature, now he is in a state of impurity, but it is ritual, it is not something physical. What to do? He has to make wudu. If it's sexual, he has to perform ghusl. So this is part one, raf'ul hadath. The second part is izalatul khabath, to remove the physical impurity, which might be on your body, on your clothes, or on the place that you want to pray on. Now, when you put on your dirty underwears with an impurity in it, you cannot pray with that. You have to wash that. And if your body is wet and is in contact with that impure substance on your clothes or on your underwear, your body becomes impure as well, which was in contact with that piece of cloth. So what to do? You have to wash that area and you have to wash your underwear, otherwise your prayer would not be valid. Basira from Saudi.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Salamtullah.
Please, I have three questions.
Yes.
One is I want to clarify. There was a question someone asked about eating Christmas food, and I didn't really get what you said because I'm from Nigeria, and I know people they send Christmas food to your house, and I think you said you can eat it, but the rulings I know in Nigeria before I came to Saudi was they don't eat it. That we shouldn't eat the Christmas food or New Year food. Then the second question, did you get that?
Yes.
The second question is, what's the difference between Tajud and Fajr prayer? Are they the same thing? They are not. When does Tajud stop? When does Fajr start?
I did not get your question.
The difference between Tajud, is Tajud and Fajr prayer the same thing?
Okay.
All right. If they are not, when does Tajud stop? When does Fajr start? And if they are, please let me know.
Okay.
Then the third question is, please, I don't always feel, I don't know if it's right. I don't like praying behind my husband because I feel he's always too fast when reciting the Quran. It's always like, I feel, did he pronounce this alphabet well? Is he reading it well? So I'm not always comfortable when I'm praying, but I don't know if it's right for me not to if I do that because of I'm scared of the way he pronounced and all those stuff. I don't know if it is right.
Yani, are you asking about if you pronounce the words of the Quran and you think you made a mistake?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. All right. Thank you, Sheikh.
You're quite welcome. Okay, our sister Basira from Saudi Arabia, she says that in Nigeria, when some Christians give them the food of Christmas, they do not eat it. And we've said this so many times. Celebrating Christmas, New Year's, Halloween, Easter, Thanksgiving, etc. is all prohibited. We cannot participate. We cannot congratulate them with it. This is their festivals. Let them celebrate them on their own. We don't interfere. This is up to them. But we do not congratulate them. And if they say that to us, we don't say it back. So Happy New Year. Oh, Happy New Year to you. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you. Enjoy your holidays. No, we don't say this. So what happens if they give us food? Now the food itself is halal, whether it was for that celebration or for any other feast. As ingredients is halal. So if they give you an apple, it's halal. I'm not celebrating it. They're bringing it to my home. If they bring me a birthday cake, for example, birthdays are haram in Islam. But if someone celebrated, my neighbor celebrated a birthday, and he got me a piece of chocolate, devil's chocolate cake or whatever they call it, and wow, now I'm having my thoughts. What to do? I'm in my home, no problem, accept it. The only prohibition is that if you share the food with them, eat with them, this is part of celebrating it. Or if the food has meat in it. Now there's a possibility that the meat was slaughtered for that celebration or for that god or for that whatever. And in this case, this makes it haram. She says what the time between tahajjud, night prayer, and fajr. You can pray since you wake up until the adhan of fajr. The minute the muadhin says Allahu Akbar for the adhan of fajr, this ends all night prayer. You cannot pray night prayer or witr or whatever. And this is the time where you refrain from eating or drinking if you want to fast. So it announces the break of dawn, the adhan. After the break of dawn, you cannot pray tahajjud and you cannot eat and drink if you're fasting. Before that, it is permissible for you. And she says that every time I want to recite the Quran, I'm scared. I'm terrified. Shaitan comes to me and say, oh, maybe you're making a wrong pronunciation. Maybe it's not pronounced like this. Have no worries. Shaitan was never a good advisor to us. So ignore him totally. As long as this is the best you can do, Allah will only question you about your best. Now, if you're lazy and if you don't want to learn and you could care less if it's this or that, you just say it however it is. No, this is haram. You have to respect Quran. But if this is what you remember, this is what you have been taught, and you tried your level best to learn it in the best of fashions, and then you make a mistake, Allah would double your reward for reciting it and for struggling with that mistake, and Allah Azza wa Jalla knows best. Kabiro from Nigeria.
No.
Yes, Kabiro, what can I do for you?
Yeah, no, I'm calling and listening to Huda TV.
Yes, Akhi, I'm talking to you. What's your question?
Yeah, let me meet my TV.
Do you have a question?
Yeah, my question is, I have a wife,
Okay.
but always she don't want to obey me. So what ways could I follow to make her happy, to make her to obey me, and to have a peace in my house?
Okay. I will answer your question, inshallah.
Thank you.
You're quite welcome, Akhi. Kabiro from Nigeria says that he has a disobedient wife and she does not respect him and she does not obey him and he needs peace in his house. How to do this? Akhi, welcome to the club. This happens all houses. And I know that if the sister would give me a call, she would probably complain of the same. My husband is abusive and he doesn't show me any signs of love. He doesn't give me any kind and merciful gestures. What can I do? This happens in all houses. Communication is the only way to have a good marriage. Of course, beside loving Allah Azza wa Jalla and following the Quran and Sunnah and being fair, etc. A lot of the Muslims are unfair. They know their rights. This is my right. Why aren't you doing this to me? You have to do this. Allah tells you to do this. But they neglect their obligations. So I know my rights very well. But Do I know my obligations towards my wife? Maybe, maybe not. So I would recommend that you communicate well with your wife and do check and balance with your own shortcomings. Am I doing and giving her my obligations? Her obligations upon me? Am I doing my duties towards her? Am I being this and that? If yes, and the shortcomings are from her, try to communicate, advise. If this doesn't work, involve her father. Involve her elder brother and tell them to discipline your daughter, because this is not ending well. And they should know that you have tolerated a lot, and inshallah things would move on. Muhammad from Saudi. Muhammad.
Hello, assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Salam wa rahmatullah.
My question is that is it necessary to sleep, or is it necessary to sleep before performing the tahajjud prayer, or can we just directly perform it after?
Okay, I will answer you.
Perform it without sleeping.
Okay. Any more questions, Muhammad?
No, thanks.
Okay. Tahajjud is part of night prayer, and the difference between it and night prayer is that night prayer is general. So whatever you pray after Isha prayer is called night prayer. So you pray at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10, 1, 2, 3. This is all called night prayer. If it so happens that you sleep and you wake up before Fajr and you pray, this is known as Tahajjud. So if a person says, Sheikh, I don't sleep the whole night until I pray Fajr, am I deprived of Tahajjud? The answer is no, you can pray at the last third of the night, but definitely the reward of a person who went to sleep and fought his desire to be in bed and woke up to pray is greater than someone who is already awake, probably playing PlayStation or answering emails or just sitting with the missus. Definitely his reward is greater because he is fighting himself more and more. Shahid, or Sahad, that is, sorry, says, I've read regarding importance of seeking knowledge in many hadith, but the Prophet ﷺ did not read or write. So would he recommend us to do something he didn't do? Now this question, Sahad, is out of line completely. The Prophet ﷺ is the source of knowledge. Though he did not read and write, but we get the knowledge of him. We get the Quran from him or through him. So definitely he was the most knowledgeable of all people, though he did not read and write. See, knowledge is not related only to reading and writing. You could be the most knowledgeable person while being illiterate, while knowing the Quran, while knowing the Hadith, while knowing the fiqh. So all of this is irrelevant, and Allah knows best. Uthman from Libya. Listen to me from the phone and mute your TV, Uthman.
Assalamu alaikum.
Salam wa rahmatullah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaykum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Please, my name is Uthman from Libya.
Yes, Uthman.
Hello, please. I'm talking from Libya. Please, there is something I want to ask.
Akhi, mute your TV. Mute your TV and listen to me from the phone.
There is some woman I want. Okay.
I did not say hang up, Akhi. I said mute your phone. This happens a lot when you have the remote and the phone and the Sheikh says mute your TV, you hang up. Please call if you can. We have a couple of minutes left. Kareem says, normally I take orders for cakes for different occasions, apart from birthday cakes and any un-Islamic occasion, because I was told it's haram. I once got an order for a birthday and refused it. I tried to explain to the person my reasons. They told me that they were not going to host a party. They just want to give the cake to the child as means of making the child happy. Is it allowed? Will I be sinning? If it is not for the purpose of birthdays, it's just a cake, then yes, you can do it. But if they tell you it's today his birthday and we're giving this cake to him to be happy, you should not be part of that. Awal from Nigeria. Mute your TV, please, and listen to me from the phone. Awal.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alhamdulillah, my awal from Nigeria, sir.
Yes, sir.
We are highly appreciating your efforts and we are understanding seriously your contribution towards Islam. But what I want to add or to ask is, based on what you have explained in respect of allowing your brother to enter your house or relative and what have you, in our society, honestly, even though it's not allowed or permissible in Islam, but there is a serious challenges for you disallowing or protecting your brother to enter into your house. I know it's not permissible, and even I don't know, is it out of ignorance or what? I don't know, but there is serious challenges in this regard. Saying your brother should not enter your house if you are not present in the house, you cause a lot of issues among the parents and the relatives. Some they were even saying that you are neglecting your relatives. Why did you allow? Okay, why did you prevent your brother, as in your own blood brother, to enter into your house because you are not there? But they should understand that it's not allowed in Islam. So anything, Islam should come first before anything else.
Okay, so I will answer you. Well, I got your question loud and clear. First of all, Islam comes to fine-tune our lives and not the other way around. And I always give this example. Our life is like a picture, and Islam is like the frame. So our life is a big picture and Islam is the frame. A proper Muslim gets the frame, which is Islam, puts it on the picture and cuts all edges so that the frame fits the picture. Now Muslims are doing the opposite. They bring the frame, which is Islam, and when they see that it doesn't fit their lives, so they want to customize the frame to fit their lives, and this cannot be. So they start breaking this edge and duct taping the other one and breaking here and breaking there, put some shoe glue to fix this and that. This doesn't work. This is a mutilated Islam. This is not the religion of Allah. We have to make the traditions, the customs fall under the umbrella of Islam, not the other way around. It all should be channeled through Quran and Sunnah. So if my parents, if my relatives, how dare you, how do you do such a thing, your blood relative does this and that, I tell them with all due respect, Quran and Sunnah prevail. It is not what you guys think or believe. I personally, Asim al-Hakim, know incidents where the brother-in-law had relationships with his sister-in-law because of doing so many things that were out of the line of Islam. When you break the law of Allah Azza wa Jal, when you start to compromise the religion of Allah, this what happens. Women are weak. Men are weaker. Shaitan is there. The Prophet says, whenever a man is alone with a woman, the third one with them is Shaitan. What would Shaitan say? Remember Allah. Take the Quran and read it. Do this. Definitely not. He would beautify her in your eyes and beautify you in her eyes, and the inevitable would happen. So my friend Awal, go ahead and defy the whole society as long as it pleases Allah the Almighty, and Allah Azza wa Jalla knows best. This is all time we have. Until we meet next time next week, I leave you fi amanillah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Allah is my heart's speech. Your mercy is what I beseech.